Hello and welcome to Min's Proptech series Brick by Byte. This is Vandana Ramnani, and with me today is Kunal Mehra, who is the co-CEO and president of Tablespace, a workplace solutions provider. And he's here to talk to us about how Proptech is revolutionizing the real estate space, especially the managed office space. So, welcome to Brick by Byte, Kunal.
Thank you, Vandana.
So, if you could start by telling us how Proptech tools are being utilized in the managed office space, right from the time where you, actually locate a building up to the design stage, and finally, how is it that you go about finalizing agreements? So, if you could just tell us something about that.
Sure. So just to take you back a little bit, when we started the company 7 years ago, we had built the technology platform already before we actually went live with, building out spaces and selling to clients. So we are a technology-enabled real estate service provider. So tech is in our DNA in all ways and forms. And the reason why we actually started with that in the first place is because when we started, we were very clear that the scale we want to achieve. So that wouldn't have been possible without having the right technology in place in terms of running the entire ecosystem of managed workspace. The second important aspect was that transparency was a very important tool for occupiers sitting outside of the country to exactly know what's happening within the country and the detailing on that. So I think to mitigate these two issues, we built the technology platform first, and then we went into the market in trying to build this business. So we broke it up into 4 to 5 categories. When we started, obviously we were, improvising, but we started with a technology team. So we started with a 4-member tech team when we started the organization. Today we have a 30-member tech team constantly building innovative solutions around the occupier experience. So we have something called TS 3.0, which is the entire platform. So we have the transaction management system there, where the entire assets that we choose, the entire detailing of which micro market they are in, what stages of construction they are in, what is the social ecosystem created around them, what is the demand supply scenario, all that is fed into that system. And that system tells us which asset to take at what point in time during the leasing cycle of the year. So that is a very, very important tool for us to predict, our growth strategy in core markets where supply is very limited, right? Because there are a few grade A assets which are at different stages of construction. So this platform allows us and gives us the data-backed solution and direction on what we need to do. This also forms a part of our sales platform. So we've integrated both sales and asset acquisition on one platform, where all our, customer database in terms of what are the RFPs in the market, which are the clients who we are targeting, all the deals that we've done till now in the country and not done are on that platform. The other tool that we have where we can exactly design a space for an occupier in under 30 to 45 seconds. So we just have to key in their, requirements of how many workstations, how many meeting rooms, what is the size of the pantry, what is the size of the server room, and our entire platform creates a 2D, 3D layout on how the exact office would look. So that gives an occupier a lot of, agility and speed to take a decision. Because sometimes they say we need 100 seats, right? You can build 100 seats in 10,000 square feet, in 15, in 8,000. So which is the most cost-efficient way to do it? This technology platform helps us do that.
So, Kunal, coming back to the process of selecting a building. Now, how do you go about selecting a building? And does this tool help shorten that cycle of, selecting a building? Because a lot of time would go into it, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's a very valid question, Vandana. So I'll tell you how this helps us, right? So this transaction management tool that we have, that tracks the demand that's ongoing in the market from a perspective of which occupier is looking at which specific micro market. It also tracks the grade A real estate coming in. It tracks the timeline of delivery. It tracks the social infrastructure around it and any other infrastructure that's being built in the future for that specific micro market.
Across cities,
Across key micro markets of the country which are specific to grade A commercial real estate, right? So with this tool, it exactly tells us which asset has to be taken at what time of the year. Because in our business, leasing cycle is also very important. The peak leasing in commercial grade A real estate happens between April to September.
Right.
So the delivery of the asset has to happen then for us to service the occupier.
Right.
So this system tells us that these assets are being delivered at this point in time. So you have to lease it 2 months in advance or 1 month in advance, and then pre-build it to an extent, and then take it to your occupier. So specifically to answer your question, how much time does it save? It saves a good 2 to 3 months from the perspective of getting the entire space on our books.
And also, Kunal, if you can throw some light on existing buildings, right, wherein you already have occupiers, and say the lease term is about to end. Now, does this software or does this particular tool also throw up information on when is the lease closing, and these are the number of months that you have for the second occupier to come in? I mean, are these data points also reflected in this through this?
Yeah, so this system has all the details, right?
Okay.
So our base build leases, when are they expiring? When do the renewal notices have to be given? All that is uploaded on this platform. This platform talks to our legal team. So the legal team automatically sends out notices for renewal. That's one advantage. The second is this system also has assets which we were trying to lease, but we couldn't at that point in time either because somebody else had already taken it, or it was negotiated with an end occupier. So this system tracks that. So when those leases are expiring, it gives the management team a notification, hey, this was the asset you wanted in this specific micro market, it's coming up for renewal, why don't you approach the landlord? So this lease admin software that we have talks to our sales team, talks to the management team, and mitigates that risk of securing future real estate as well.
Okay. And for new buildings, when it comes to the design stage, I mean, let's talk about the design stage. How much time is actually saved because of the AI tools that you started using in terms of, getting the design in order? And also, how do you communicate with the client, once the space is getting designed? So, how transparent is the system when it comes to the kind of design which is being utilized?
So there are two parts to this question, right? One is in terms of taking a base build asset, understanding the technical feasibility of it. All that is already studied in detail, fair on our platform. Then the design team takes those parameters and designs the most efficient layout.
Correct.
With certain common amenities which are required for the office to function smoothly. And different modules are created, like a 100-seater, 200-seater, a 300-seater on that floor plate. Since we have enough intelligence to know that this micro market, the typical occupier size is, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 square feet, it pre-designs models with industry benchmarks. Like for a, IT company, the benchmark is 1:100. With a meeting room ratio 1:5, with a cafeteria ratio 1:7. All these are pre-fed in the system, and these modules are already created with the right efficiencies in place, the right corridor widths. And then when we go to our client, we say, hey, this is what you're looking for. Instead of he reinventing his entire thought process, employing an architect externally, spending a handsome fee in getting them on board, 3 to 6 months in designing a layout, which we've already done in less than 12 days. So that's a big saving in terms of timeline, in terms of designing. Right. From the aspect of what the occupier wants. Because a lot of time an occupier says, I know I need 100 seats, but what is the configuration? They rarely know. So somebody has to educate them. This system already has inbuilt data and keeps improvising on it. I mean, typically an occupier can spend between, 3 to 6 months on designing, which we've got down to 15 days. Because typically what happens, if you take a space on lease, you have defined rent free.
Right.
If you spend 3 to 4 months of that or 5 months of that rent free in designing, then you're building that space takes another 3 to 5 months. Right? So you're out of pocket as an occupier by almost 6 to 8 months without having the space in your possession for your employees. So our entire construction management process is online. So we call that our delivery management system. So all the assets that we are building are on that platform. And the client has real-time access to it. So he exactly knows what layout has been finalized, what are the DBRs, what are the HVAC drawings. Every detail is uploaded on that platform. He can sit anywhere in the world and review it. And then we have cameras on site which are integrated with this platform. So real-time images are clicked every 3 days and uploaded on this platform. So he exactly sees physically how the space is being built. So he can sit in, SF or London or Tokyo and how his office is being built. And the system also calculates delays, if at all. And it tells our construction team that if you, express or expedite activity 12, you'll mitigate that delay. And the delay register goes to the client so they can plan their entire, staff onboarding or inauguration.
Kunal, if you can throw some light on your repeat clientele, I'm sure you have repeat clients all across the country. So, what percentage of your clients are actually repeat clients, and how do you cater to their various requirements?
So a sizable part of our last year's growth has come from our existing clients for multiple reasons, right? So, one is that we are able to become their single largest landlord throughout the country. We are able to replicate the SLAs consistently in every specific micro market, in every specific city of the country. We are able to replicate the quality, because that getting that consistently is very, very tough and a challenge because of different geographies that we have within our country. And I think the most important aspect is that we are able to provide them flexible solutions uh, at a short notice, and at the same time it being customized for them. I think that's something which comes out to be as a very big advantage for them, which traditionally they would not be able to do.
Okay. What about credit worthiness of your managed office clients? Now, are these tools able to help you on that front?
Yeah. So that's a very important aspect of us, getting into a contract with an occupier, right? So our tool talks to our finance team. So the sales platform, which I told you, has a specific tab of credit check of the organization. So that tab, till it's not tick marked, we can't sign a contract. The system will not allow you to sign a contract or close the deal. So that talks to our finance team, and then our finance teams do the physical work connecting with the ROC, the ICRA rating of the organization, upload that data on the platform, and that's when we can actually close the transaction and start construction for that specific client.
Okay. And what happens once the client onboards, right? I mean, what are the kind of facilities that are actually provided to the client through these tools? Now, for instance, if you have to kind of check what is the occupancy level like, say, if a client has about a presence in about 5 to 7 cities, right? Now, are you able to track occupancy levels across these 5, 7 cities where that particular client has a footprint? Now, do these tools help you do that?
So we've created a. Let me take a step back. Actually, so I spoke about sales, lease, design, construction. So we have an operations management tool as well. So I mean, our entire structure is based on a back to back. So the tech we've created is a business to business kind of a tool, right? We are catering to the occupier and their management, and then their internal customer is step two, which I'll talk about. So our entire operations tool that you see manages all the details of how we are maintaining the facility. So what is the server room temperature? What is the UPS room temperature? How many times the restroom is cleaned? Is the coffee machine functioning? Is the toilet paper in place? All that is again on that platform, and that platform sends a daily report to our client saying this is your facility health for today. So that aspect gives them the comfort that their entire operations is being handled very transparently and the right SLAs are maintained. So that is from the operational perspective. From the utilization perspective that you came about, so we have another tool that we've created, and all this is in-house, right? So it's all proprietary. So with normal cameras, which are GDPR compliant, and our tool, we can know the utilization of a space. How many people are there? What is the peak time of that space? What is the non-peak time? So we use it for our common areas and car parks, because within the client offices, we are not allowed to deploy that tool unless they give us the permission.
I see.
Yeah, because they have their own, privacy rules and, compliances in place. So, but for our cafeterias, for our car parks, we exactly know what is the utilization at each specific time of the day. So on our app, it goes to our clients saying, cafeteria is 60% occupied, please go for lunch. So that's how we are using technology to make the entire experience of the employee very seamless. On the app, it'll show like, slot number 25 is vacant. Please go use that slot for car parking your vehicle. So that kind of, increasing the service level, bettering the experience is what we're using this utilization tool for. If we get permission to do it within the offices, we would be very happy. But that's a complicated process because they have to take global approvals in terms of using it within their offices, and then data privacy becomes an issue for them. Though we are GDPR compliant from that perspective.
Kunal, you also have an offering which goes by the nomenclature of suites, right? Now, what are these suites, and what kind of clients go in for these suites?
Sure. I mean, that's a great question, and that's an integral part of our business today. So we have TS Managed, which is an enterprise custom built solution, and then we have TS Suites, which is an enterprise ready to move in solution, right? So these are pre-built enterprise ready offices. So imagine if there is a first time entrant in the country and he wants an enterprise grade A solution which is ready to move in, he would come to us. So whether his tenure is going to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, that depends on their business needs. So this solution gives them that flexibility. And once they understand, what level of scale they want to be in the country or in that specific city or micro market, then we take them and build them an enterprise customized solutions, which is more long term. So this becomes a more flexible enterprise ready, and TS Managed becomes the enterprise custom solution.
Okay. What about workplace safety? I mean, how safe are these workspaces, especially when it comes to data safety and also safety of the people employed in there?
Yeah, that's a great question, right? So we envisioned this kind of a requirement and need 4 years ago after we built all these tools. So we built something called TS Hawk, which is again an internal proprietary tool where with the normal cameras we are able to understand is there any intruder in the office space in that specific designated area, is there any activity which is not usual. So the AI tool understands if some discrepancy is happening within that defined area with the parameters fed into the system, and if something which is not business as usual is happening there, that's immediately highlighted to our teams. So we have a knock and sock room within our office that monitor.
What about your portfolio, Kunal?
So we have a portfolio of above 10 million square feet.
So Kunal, are there any new Proptech tools that you may be currently working on? And I mean, if you could throw some light on what use would those be put to going forward?
Yeah, I mean, as I told you, we are a tech first real estate company, and technology is a very integral part of our entire vision and how we see ourselves in the next 5, 7, 10 years. I mean, we've grown our tech team to 30 people, as I said, and we are adding more people. So we are trying to see how AI can be, utilized more in terms of making these offerings better.
Thanks, Kunal. Thanks for joining us.